Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the next episode. This is episode. What episode are we actually up to?
I don't know at this point. I think we're up to 6 or 5 or maybe even 4.
Whatever episode this is. This is part 2 to our Reddit horror stories.
No, so we are episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah, so
nice
part
one.
2.
Okay, part 2. So this episode, we're going to be continuing on with our, after the high demand of the last episode that hasn't been released yet, but we're going to say that.
Internalize that, so it's fine.
So we may grow to 4 listeners by that point.
Yeah.
So there's going to be horror stories that we found, true horror stories that we found on Reddit and threads on the internet regarding, misfortunate and unfortunate things that have happened to wedding photographers and or the client.
And the client.
So different perspectives. So I think the last couple of stories were pretty hectic. Maybe, do you want to go first this time? You roll first?
You reckon?
Yeah, you go first this
Do
time.
we trust
Right.
me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to laugh the whole time.
All right, so we'll...
All right.
And then,
And yeah?
Yeah, well, I was going to say we'll give our feedback and maybe do's and don'ts and how that could have been avoided.
This is probably a really good one then. This is actually a good one then.
All right,
so this one, we're going to call it Losing the Bride and Groom. That's not a good start. So
Shit. All right.
Yeah,
That's a rough start.
it's a rough start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we lost the bride and groom one time. I was part of a firm that hired out both photo and video. Already a red flag. Starting off wrong. Originally, I was with the video guy helping him out. Coming out from the ceremony, we had to rush to the reception spot. So we mixed up all of our gear. That's both photo and video gear mixed up.
You could throw my gear in 100 photographers' gear together and I'd be fine. I'd be fine. Yeah, what's going on here?
We show up at the spot for the reception, film and shoot a little. But then the bride and groom wanted to head to the city to get some fancy evening sunset shots. They still had us for 3 hours, so whatever they say, right? So we split up again. I'm driving with the photographer and we get caught in traffic. So we tell the newlyweds we'll meet them at the same spot they shot their engagement pictures. Our photo guy did them as well. Only problem was he forgot the address and lost the bride's contact information somehow. No problem, we'll call the video guy. They have it all. They did not have it. The phone that is not a smartphone with the client's information that is not in any emails or anything was dropped into water earlier that night, and the other video guy's phone was dead, no charger, and died as he was talking. Long story short, we couldn't find the bride and groom and had no way of contacting them or finding where they were, so we just went home.
Fuck.
Yeah, shit. Starting was I hired as part of a firm. That's already there's a bit of a red flag already.
Solid.
Yeah. What would you do in this situation? Well, for starters, you would have backup information of the bride and groom for contact wise. I have it in my notes and I have it in emails.
Yeah.
And I actually have it on my watch and my screensaver. That's how pedantic I am.
That's good. Yeah.
On a wedding day, I've got everything.
Yes, that is look, I just make sure my phone is charged.
That's good. Not hard to charge.
And these are now waterproof. You could drop this in, submerge it for half an hour and it'll still work. Like,
this was within the last 2 years, this story. Who doesn't have a smartphone?
This is hectic.
And
so were they doing bridals at that point?
Yes. They sound like they were
was
doing the bridal shots after the ceremony. And the couple wanted the sunset shots in the city.
Far out, man.
And they just couldn't remember where it was and they had no
Like
context.
they went home. If that was in Sydney, that could be quite easy to do if you didn't have any contact details.
But would you not go back to the reception and wait for them there? They just went home.
Yeah. There's a lot of doozies. I think, how would you find the bride and groom? You'd just have to the three of you have to get together and just figure out right, where did we say we're going to meet them?
Get the address before you all leave off in separate cars, maybe as a confirmation.
Yeah.
This is where we're going.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing again, right? These are contractors who aren't doing post-production.
You have like for the ones you've done for the other
man.
company, you had no information. You had just where you were going for the ceremony reception. There was nothing else.
You know what? Actually, you are bringing a lot of shit back to me right now. That's ironic because, we hardly had any information.
Yeah.
And I remember when I did a contracting job, the photographer and I were looking around. We spent probably an extra half an hour trying to find the venue because there were all these different venues.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And it was somewhere in the Hunter Valley.
Yeah.
I think it was. And there was we had plenty of time. So if you do everything right by giving yourself enough time and being prepared, when these little hiccups do happen, we can figure it out. So,
but that can be hard if you're contracted out, because generally if you're contracted, you've got a certain amount of hours that you're covering.
Yes.
And it's very bang, bang, bang.
Yes. You know what? All the information that I got, which I got not super early on, it was only a couple of days before the shoot, which was a contact number, which was the groom.
Yep.
And the 3 locations that I had to be at the times, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. What about that one where you all had the traffic in Sydney because it was like a tulip festival?
Oh yeah, that was
even that. Yeah. There's no.
So that wedding was on the biggest day in Barrel in the year, where everyone in Sydney, all 6 million people in Sydney, want to be in fucking Barrel.
Yeah, it's a place to be.
Yeah, they had literally the tulip festival on, and then I ended up parking in some random like corporate workers car park at the back of an office.
Yeah.
Which then, like I was half expecting to like get into a punch on. Like an angry guy waiting for me. Like
I had to film a wedding. I'm sorry.
Like, hey man, like I'm really, I was very apologetic. So no, look, that can happen.
Yeah.
That can happen.
It can happen. It's again is very, very possible when you hire companies like this where you don't know your photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
And they're likely not going to be given much information at all.
Totally. But in saying that, I think it also comes down to the individual.
Also, when you turned up, you make sure you've got information.
That or just like, I don't know, I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Not everyone is though.
Figure it out.
Not everyone
is.
Zach.
I'm not saying I'm not the smartest person in the world. Like I'm probably pretty stupid to be honest.
But you have common sense.
But hey.
We're street smart.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. We'll figure it out. So that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's yeah, I definitely would not have gone home.
Yeah. So if you are contracting for
because
somebody,
you think,
get
right? You've still got the fucking probably the cake cutting.
Yep.
You got the whole fucking reception.
Who just goes home?
There's still a lot.
It's too hard. I'm just gonna go home.
You got the first dance.
Yeah.
You got everyone mingling, having fun, all that stuff.
We just go home.
Get some videos and photos of auntie.
Just go back to the reception. Get some photos of shit.
Yeah, totally right. You can make up for it.
But no, go home.
You can make up for it.
Yeah,
like
go home. It's fine.
You've missed one part of the day.
Yeah.
Which it sucks.
It
You're
sucks.
gonna have to own it.
Yeah.
You can't just go home.
Yeah, you can't just
That's
go
insanity.
home. Sorry, my phone died and I'm just gonna go home.
The only way I would leave, the only way I'd go home is if I literally had gastro.
Look, that would be. I don't know. You may even still push through. Bring your honey.
I would
and your
manage, but if I couldn't like take a shot without spewing on like a bridesmaid, I would like.
That would be.
I'd probably call it then.
Call it then.
But I'd let them know that I tried my best.
Yeah.
And then I'd give them a refund.
100%.
And then I would at least get something for them.
You would have someone probly as a backup.
I most likely have Kirk with me anyway.
Yeah, well, you'd be fine.
Or I'd be like, Kath, that's it, mate. You do it all of it today. There you go.
So yeah, I was stuck with Kirk. It's all good. Kirk could nail it.
Yeah, you'd be right. Yeah.
Anyway, what's your next story?
All right, one. Okay. I kind of resonated with this a little bit. And I think this is going to bring back memories from a recent shoot that you did as a photographer.
Oh.
Have an old mate trying to tell you about how to do your job. Yeah. I think every videographer and photographer has probably been through this.
Yep.
Alrighty, Kath. So again, this is going to bring back some haunting memories of your like most recent fucking job, I think.
Welcome to 2025. Here's your job.
Yeah, all right. Oh, okay, right. Videographer's perspective. All right, buckle up because I've got a wedding horror story for you. This one's personal. Let me set the stage. I'm fairly new to the wedding industry, but not to videography. I've been working as a senior video producer for a large global company for years, and recently I've been transitioning into weddings, taking on a few free gigs to build my portfolio. We've all been there. So I get this opportunity to shoot a wedding for a couple who originally said they wanted a videographer, but decided against it because of the cost. Fair enough, right? Except when I get there, I realize the wedding is easily a 6-figure affair. I mean, we're talking about extravagant floral arrangements, high-end decor, the whole works. Yeah. But hey, I'm not here to judge their budget choices. I'm here to film. The venue was gorgeous, and I was genuinely excited about the visual opportunities. It was going to be a killer addition to my portfolio. What I wasn't expecting was one of the parents, let's call him father of the couple, to be an absolute nightmare. And when I say nightmare, I mean a kind of person who makes you question every career decision you've ever made.
Yep. Yep.
You need like counselling after this, Kath, I think.
I am. Are we
Okay,
reliving?
so Kath just literally went through this at the last shoot, which you will get into after this. Yeah. 15 minutes before the ceremony. 15 minutes before the ceremony, this guy starts harassing the wedding planner. He's demanding a ladder. Yes, a ladder. So he can set up his own camera. He's adamant that I can't possibly handle filming the ceremony alone.
Is the same guy? Oh, no.
The planner, bless her, is trying to diffuse the situation, reassuring him the videographer will do a wonderful job. But does that calm him down? Nope. He fires back. Oh, is it going to be fine? So, well, we'll get our money back if it's not. I mean, talk about creating tensions right before the ceremony. Fast forward to the ceremony itself. He's sitting in the front row with his camera pointed directly at the couple the entire time. This is Kath, did you write this and send it to me?
I think I submitted it and just changed a few words.
Now I'm thinking, okay, this is weird, but at least it's over for now, right? I was wrong. At the reception, things escalate. It's time for the cake cutting, and I'm working alongside two photographers to get our shots. This guy walks up to me and notices that I have an external light in my hand. Without asking, takes it out of my hand, turns it on and starts using the light himself because apparently he's the new director of photography. I politely tell him I don't need the light right now and he ignores me. Then after the cake cutting, he turns to me and one of the photographer and says, just saying, I don't think you guys got the shot. The photographer walks away and I try to follow, but then he grabs my shoulder. Yes, grabs my shoulder and says, you don't know what you're doing. Hey, but that's okay. I give him a nervous laugh and go, all right, hoping he'll back off. But he doesn't. He doubles down. Yeah, you don't really know what you're doing here. None of you do, but you'll learn. Okay, this guy sounds autistic.
This ain't right.
Was your guy this bad? The way you're subtly nodding. Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh shit. Yep. At this point, I was stunned. Then he goes, don't worry, I'll send you the footage from the ceremony because you're all going to need it. Let me remind you, I'm doing this wedding for free. I tell him as politely as I can. I'm good, thank you. But he keeps pushing. He's drunk, condescending, and making me extremely uncomfortable. This videographer is also a lady from what I gather.
Well then, yep, this makes sense.
Yeah. Because I think any normal guys probably would have knocked him out by now.
Yes. Yeah.
Or strangled him. So I look him in the eye and say, they should have just hired you, hey? He laughs and finally walks away. But the damage is done. The whole situation was so awkward, demoralizing, and now I'm hesitant to even share my final video with the couple. To make matters worse, I find out later that the guy was allegedly some kind of journalistic photographer from the 80s. He kept going on about the entire ceremony needed to be filmed in one long, uninterrupted take because to him, that was how a wedding video should be. Never mind that it's not the industry standard anymore and it's not my style at all.
Does she want me to reach out? I can definitely reach out.
So anyway, I probably didn't have to add that last bit in there. But Kath, as someone who just recently went through a very similar situation.
I won't name venue or specifically what the person
okay, that's
was.
That's okay. That's okay. Walk me through your just.
Okay, so at the ceremony, this person turned up a little bit late, unpacked a camera, and proceeded to nod their head at me. I'm thinking, okay, no worries. Look, I'm used to it at weddings. There's always someone at the back that's
always
got a
someone
camera.
that's going to pull out a camera.
I don't give a shit. If you're not in front of me, I don't care. Whatever. I'm not going to. It's on other people to worry about that. So then the bride and groom are going to look at you and be like, you're the dickhead.
Yeah.
No. This person has stood in the middle of the aisle.
Which you sent me the photo.
In front of several photos.
But
in front of me.
So there's a shot. The shot that you sent me, it was there was the part where they were kissing. So
we got the ring shots of them putting the rings on, vows together.
Yep.
And just
somewhere around there anyway.
Chatting in general.
They were just must have just done their vows, something holding hands. It was a beautiful moment, and you've taken this lovely shot. You've kind of bokeh out the the aisle either side with the parent with all the guests, and it was the leading lines straight down the aisle. It was very beautiful, and then you got this guy's big stupid fucking head.
And mind you, he's not even crouching down. Like most of
He's
them,
standing
he's
up.
standing.
Yes,
standing. And AI helped me with some of them. I did remove him in some.
There,
AI couldn't
no
help with
amount of
other ones.
AI can unfuck
There's certain things
certain
AI just
shots.
can't do because it's not there. And I'm
or
not.
Or even just skill in Photoshop. There's certain things. People are like under this impression, just fix it in post.
Just fix it. No.
You know what? You can't fix a lot of things in post.
I mean, I could maybe potentially layer like 2 photos, but I haven't got the same angle and it's just going to be a shit show. And I'm not doing it because I'm not paid for that shit. So, he was in a large percent of the photos, even on the side with the grooms, all this sort of stuff.
Oh, no.
I brought it up with the bride and groom as well, and they were very apologetic because I was like, just checking, is this another videographer, photographer, or is this? And they were like, we had no idea. X, Y, and Z person was going to be doing that. And I was like, okay, well, someone probably wants to let them know that reception bugger off, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to reception and he's calling out to me. And I'm pretty sure it was something like, oi. Like it wasn't even a quiet come over, hey, let's have a chat. Like it was in front of everybody, oi. Long story short was basically brought up his cheap-ass Canon. I don't even know, some old school Canon with the most 85mm lens, but it's like a dinosaur. It's one of the OG 85mm, and basically told me that he had to be taking the shots because the couple needed those shots with the more of the bokeh around them, and he was the professional.
But so
and I'm looking at the amount of money I've got in both my hands with both my cameras and lenses. And then he proceeded to tell me I need an 85mm lens. And then he got it really cheap for like $300, so he's sure I would be able to afford it.
Oh my God. And then did he try to approach you in the car park afterwards or not?
No, he didn't. I was voice noting you at the time.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I have no idea the intentions. I'm not sure. He did walk up to the car, which was parked 2 cars from me.
Yeah.
His wife, and proceeded to stand there and look at me and chat with his wife the entire time. Once I started my car and drove off, then walked out to the driveway, and I had to drive like past him to leave. And just but he was, even like the couple signing their papers, he was yelling at them to do different poses and looking at him. Even doing the walk down the aisle where they do the dip and kiss, he missed it. Funny that, because you're not professional. I nailed it.
So he got them to do it again?
He asked them to, and I said no.
You big dogged him. You fucking big dogged him.
I moved myself to the side in front of him, and I was like, no, let's keep going. I'm not playing this
Good.
But it's a male to female thing. It really is.
He sounds like a pig.
I've got some stories, which I'm just not going to we're not doing this one, but
it
is I think a known thing that males are more of we know more than you than a female. When it comes to things like weddings, I have more issues with male, like whether they're bosses or father-in-laws or uncles.
For sure.
Kind of
I
thing.
think sometimes certain men, not all men.
Not all men. I have
can,
some lovely men that I meet. And
for sure. But I think
helpful.
Like I see it in a lot of industries as well. Like I think sometimes men find it easier just to big dog women.
Yeah.
Because they're just physically bigger than you.
It's just what it is. It doesn't it doesn't faze me. I'm very nonchalant. Like I've worked like in the car industry for a long time as well. So I'm very used to males saying inappropriate things or being like, we know more than you and things like that. And I'm like, that's okay. You can.
Which is the most fucking retarded thing I've ever heard.
That's fine.
Sure.
It doesn't. I'm not intimidated much, which is sounding cocky, just as in it's in my industry.
Of course.
Like you're not going to turn me off my day.
Yeah, for sure. And
but you are ruining the couple's day. Oh, and then reception for the couples entering into the reception.
Yeah.
Over my shoulder, pressing up against me, telling them to do different things as they're walking in the door.
So he's like physically like touching you kind of thing?
Yeah, he's like shouldering into me. And
like, bro,
I'm like, are you right?
Break it.
Yeah. I just want to possess over people. I just don't.
Gross, man.
So I completely resonate with this story.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I think you persevered with it and you big dogged him where it was appropriate.
Yeah.
I think you handled it really well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think if I were there or Kirky was there or if you were with another male, maybe, I think that may not have happened. He might have thought twice, or he might have been just a bit of a dick. Who knows?
Well, yeah.
Who knows for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's really shitty. And unfortunately that happens, I think, more often than not from a lot of some of the Reddit stories were a bit too hectic, I thought, for the podcast, because sometimes, men can get a bit carried away.
Yeah, I've had it. I've had men pick me up. I've had men physically move me. I've had men corner me to take photos of me.
That's nice. Fucking
it's part of just it
is
hectic. So I think as well, if you're coming to these industries, these things do happen.
Yeah, for sure. And you should be able to go to work and feel safe and not.
You should be able to, but I think to a degree you have to be mentally strong enough to understand that this can happen. There is drunk people around. It's not always a walk in the park. So besides the fact you need to know your shit as a photographer or a videographer, be ready for any event.
Yeah.
And I think be strong enough to say, I'm going to leave. Let the bride and groom know if it gets too far.
Yeah.
I have left one early because there was a very inappropriate male, and I have left.
Really? You've had to do that?
I left half an hour, and I had the celebrant pushing me to do it.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's in the contract, and
Oh, man.
It's just, but then see, it never doesn't happen. Any that I've shot with you and Kirk, nothing happens.
I know. I'd fucking strangle him one.
He likes balls in his face.
Like, hey,
he's
Zac,
not concerned.
Where did that guy go? I was like, Kath, don't worry about it.
I'm going to teabag him.
I'm going to choke him with my nuts. There we go. I do this every day at jiu-jitsu, all right?
Fine. I'm getting
This is what we do to each other.
Now.
We just do the gayest things.
Yeah, it's fine.
So but that's horrific.
It's shit. It is.
All women should be able to go to work and feel safe and comfortable, especially like I feel like obviously I think any normal guy would be like that's horrible, but I think being a girl dad, bringing up a little girl now, and like I want her to be strong and independent and like not afraid to do things, but also know when to speak up or defend herself or whatever. So like it's unfortunate. I think that there are still some pigs out there and they need to be sorted out. There's some rock spiders. There are still rock spiders out there. Yeah,
we don't like spiders.
We don't like rock spiders. I hate spiders.
But I think coming back to that one, our main issue here was someone had the audacity to set up in the freaking ceremony. Yeah. You're not ruining the photographer and videographer's day because that's not our memories. We're going to deliver the content. You are ruining the couple's day. So I always wonder what goes to the head thinking that they're going to get a better shot than someone who's been paid several thousand to be there, or in this case free. They're professional. Yeah.
It's absolutely silly. Going back to the comment that guy made at yours, where he just thought that shooting at 85 mil, like it just shows how immature he was with where he was at with photography.
Mind you, showed me the back of his screen of photos and there was nothing in focus. The white balance was completely out.
Yeah. But like focal length and all, like your favorite focal length is 35 mil, right?
Yeah, we're around about
So like that's your, subjective artistic take on, photography. And that's what a lot of your photos that the couple have looked at and probably why they've hired you.
This is what I said to him. I said the couple have hired me for my work. I think they're confident in my ability.
And just because you can, make some background blur because
I can do that in Lightroom, mate.
Yeah, for sure. But I know people seem to think that like blurring out the background is like professional.
No.
It's not.
It's not. And if that's your style, go for it.
That's cool.
Someone will hire you for
I like
that.
Bokeh. Bokeh's nice.
Yeah, that's great.
But like amateurs will overdo everything will be blurred out.
Yeah.
So,
and that's not, I don't find that artistic. I don't find it appealing.
No. And right place, right time.
Yeah.
But I think 35 mil is a really nice focal length.
Yeah. And mind you, I use the 24 to 70. So I am averaging around 35.
You've always got options.
Being the ceremony, I can stand at the back and open it wide up and capture the whole ceremony.
Yeah.
No issue at all. I don't have to go walk forward or back. I just stay in the same spot and then zoom right in and I can get their hands. So
35
this guy
nice.
fucked it standing in the ceremony.
That is shitty. That is super shitty.
Yeah. But it does happen.
So
if you are one of these people, don't do it. Do not stand in the aisle.
Yeah.
Make us cranky.
Hey?
They'll make us cranky.
It will.
It's not a good start to the day if we're cranky.
Definitely will.
So, scammed with stock work. A couple was scammed by a wedding photographer who used stocked photos for his portfolio, delivered subpar snaps of their big day, and then stopped taking their phone calls afterwards. The couple paid a $1,500 deposit for the pictures and were looking forward to getting them back and choosing their favourites. They're particularly looking forward to the shot taken in a park that recreated a moment from the groom's parents' wedding 3 decades ago. What they received back left them shocked. Many of the photos appeared blurry, dark, or overexposed. They hired the photographer who advertised online as a professional photographer, and the couple said they chose him because he was affordable, charming, advertised on a wedding website, and had a solid portfolio. After receiving their photos, they did some digging and realised his portfolio featured wasn't actually his own work. The couple gave the photographer the benefit of the doubt at first, figuring he had an off day or his equipment was faulty. However, when they called him to follow up, the person on the other end of the phone hung up. None of their efforts still have been answered or were successful.
Oh my God.
Bum, bum.
Why?
Yeah, you've been scammed.
That's hectic. That's fraud. Straight up fraud. A lot of angles.
For starters, using someone else's work as your own.
Yeah.
That's not good.
You straight up just take them to fair trading. That's all you can do.
Fair
You're not getting photos.
You're not,
You may get your money back.
That's
in like 2 years' time.
And I think doing research, but I think scammers these days are getting a bit better. They're getting a bit more.
Yeah.
You could do it like one of your stories before. They did all the research. Their portfolio looked good. Their pages look good.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, people are looking going, this looks legitimate.
Yeah.
Their reviews are great. Like we know some that have got a billion of great reviews and their work is not what's delivered. So I think, it's a little bit tricky. I think meeting up prior is going to be your best shot.
Yeah. Yep.
Asking for an entire wedding day. Like if I have a couple ask for this, I'm like, here's 3. Here, take 3 of my entire
That's
days,
super
start
smart.
to finish.
You know what? I listened to a podcast recently, The Vendor Table. You probably listened to that.
Yes,
They're really cool.
Vendor Table.
They're really cool. And they said, don't get taken away by the Instagram 5 shots that the highlights. You know,
because that's our best work. We're going to put our best work on the line to bring people in.
Look at an album from start to finish and let them walk you through the day.
Yeah.
I was like, that is so good.
Yep.
Like
100%.
Maybe a little different for video, but for photos, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, video is what you get. Like you can post that and that's what you get. Whereas photos, I think, are quite easily, using someone else's work or only posting, you could post just your golden hour photos at a wedding and they're going to look fantastic. But how does your photos look at reception with no light? How do they look in the room when you're trying to do the detail shots? And
for sure.
You're
for sure. Like a lot of people can make, the perfect golden hour photos look good. Like,
golden hour is where it's at. That's easy lighting.
It's hard. Like beautiful images or even video in shitty situations is hard. That's where the work is.
So you want to see
to make it look good. So you want to see how they can do it.
Yeah. And my 3 that couples can look at. One is a very, very rainy day for a wedding. So it's quite dark. We got lighting inside, but it's not great. That. So we've got all of those. Another one is my full day. That was ceremony, direct sun, middle of the day.
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
You're kind of using the albums where don't worry if it's
these
super harsh lighting
what we got.
or if it's raining. Yeah. I personally love rainy days I say this all the time.
Rainy days. Yeah.
But the brides are going to be like, oh, fuck, it's raining. Like, what days are on?
No, one of my last
It's actually
ones,
one of the best
amazing.
days to shoot.
Yeah, it was overcast the entire day, light
harsh
showers.
lighting scares me the most.
Yep.
Because it just requires a lot of creative angles and then I generally shoot under shade.
Yeah.
For harsh lighting
for
and
you
just
it'd be
trying
a bit,
to diffuse it.
I think it would be a lot harder because you got a lot more motion to capture, whereas I can have that setting if they're one spot. I can leave.
Yeah. Which
my ISO is going to stay the same, but for you, you've got
to change a lot of shit around.
Yeah.
But no, that's good though. That's good. I like that you use those albums to take them through.
Yeah. There's 3 of them ready to go.
Nice one.
Yeah, and then my 3rd one just is a standard golden hour at the end of the day.
Yeah, sick.
Just
That's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do similar? Do you if have people asked you for work, or are they just happy looking at what you've got on your website? And
well, everything on my website is kind of all my legitimate work.
It's your trailers.
The only thing that's not on there is the which I am more than happy to show people, just because it's more intimate and private. It's the ceremony films.
Yes. Yep.
So I've got to highlight a little part of a ceremony that shows what a 5-camera ceremony looks.
That is very cool.
Do you like it?
I do like that.
Have a look.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And it's got 5 angles. It looks really sick. But I think because that's quite private and there's a lot of really intimate things that should probably only really, the whole ceremony should be just for the bride and groom and, close family members.
Yeah. So you would show them in person rather than sending them a link to own on their own.
Yeah. So, for sure. So I would, if they would like to see it, for sure, but I'm not just going to have it up there for the world to see, just in case of, I don't know.
No, that's fair.
The groom's a big tough guy. Doesn't want his mates laughing
at him. No, that's so fair. That's so
But it's there, And again, I think the ceremony films are really coming back.
Yeah. Oh, they are. Yeah.
They're really coming back.
No, they are.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, they got absolutely fucking duped. So
they did.
That sucks.
Done doozy there.
Yeah. That's that sounds like an Andreas and Co. thing.
Sounds very similar. Yeah.
Totally.
Not good. Totally. All right. What's your last story?
This is the last story. All right. Last one. So this is a review about a wedding videographer. And this is from the client's perspective.
Okay.
The bride.
Okay.
So
it's good hearing from another perspective, not just from the vendors.
So and I agree, this chick is not being a bridezilla.
Yep.
Very fair.
Yep.
And this guy's a bit of a dick.
Okay. We will cop it.
The review. All right, here's a wedding vendor horror story you'll want to hear. It's all about why you should never ignore red flags when booking your vendors. Even one bad review among 100 good ones could be the warning sign that can save your big day. So we hired a wedding videographer for our October 29th wedding. Great price, nice guy, but there was one glaring issue. A 1-star review from someone who claimed he didn't show up at their wedding.
Oh.
That's shitty.
That's a doozy.
When we asked him about it, he spent 10 minutes ranting about how the person was a liar and out to ruin him.
Oh, no.
Looking back, I should have walked right out then. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Fast forward to the actual wedding day. We got married at a beautiful historic church that does not allow drones. I made him amend the contract to exclude the drone footage because if the drone damaged the church or anyone, it would be on us. After a battle where he acted like I was insulting his artistic soul, he finally agreed. If a chick didn't want drone footage, I'd be like, sweet, man.
Sweet,
like, it's less work for me.
That saves me some time. Awesome.
But you're gonna see why he wanted to use it first in a second. Weeks later, we get the video, and guess what it opens with? The drone footage. But not our drone footage. It was from another wedding. It was at the same church in a completely different season. There was snow in the video, and we got married in October. Oh, and there's some random party bus in the footage, which we definitely didn't have at our wedding. Who even is this? How embarrassing is that?
What?
Like, oh, bro. That's
Someone's
awesome.
21st is captured, but
Yeah.
we'll pop that in there.
Oh, my God. And it gets worse. He promised us a second shooter, but on the day, he showed up solo. His excuse, his second shooter, aka his heavily pregnant fiance, couldn't make up.
Oh.
Couldn't make it. By the way, she was 8.5 months pregnant. Okay, fine. I let this slide. But then it came to the delays. The contract said it was 2 weeks for the video. There's your biggest red flag.
Yeah, that's
But at 6 weeks, I still hadn't had anything. When I reached out, he left me on red for 3 days. He then followed up again. He got nasty, saying, "My family comes first."
Ooh.
I'm sorry, what? I paid you $1,500. What does your family doesn't change the fact that you're a breach of your contract?
Yeah.
Eventually, he sent us the footage and it was a total disaster. The footage was supposed to be 40 to 60 minutes.
Ooh.
Instead, it was an hour and 44 minutes of poorly edited chaos. Random jump cuts, no artistic shots of me and my husband, and yet still other random couples' wedding footage scattered throughout. That's awesome.
How?
In this story here, just to interject, because I rewrote it. She starts talking about this hard drive.
Yeah.
But she didn't really mention it at the start.
Yeah, okay.
So just to backtrack here, a part of his clause, he didn't want to deliver the film by link. He wanted to deliver it on a hard drive, but you had to supply the hard drive. So it cost him additional $75. And then he wanted them to pay the $25 shipping back. So this is like so shonky. All of this is so shonky.
Is he literally waving the red flag and they just ignored it? Or
I've got a lot of questions about an hour and 44-minute video. Like what are we looking at here?
Returning?
Well, I suppose the video is going to get really long when it's like 9 other couples' footage.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you've got a few weddings to pop in there.
The icing on the terrible cake. After I confronted him, he called my husband behind my back to talk privately. I told him I was crazy, bro. Completely insane. Can you believe that? I was the client. My name was on the contract, yet he had the nerve to trash talk me to my own husband behind my back. So let this be a lesson. Do your research. And if you see one bad review, listen to it. Your wedding day is too important to trust someone who could ruin it. Trust me, I've learnt the hard way. That's it.
There's a lot in
There's
this
a lot to
one.
unpack there.
There is a lot.
Okay, so I just quickly want to go through here.
Yep, go through it.
First thing is delivery time.
Yep.
2 weeks.
That is not.
That's a fucking scam straight up.
Yeah,
no one's
yeah,
delivering
no.
your shit in 2 weeks.
If it's anything less than 4 weeks,
yeah.
I think you're looking at a bit of a situation.
Totally. Like I do 4 weeks. I have a clause where you can pay me an additional $2,000
Yep.
and I will have your video delivered to you in a week.
Yep.
And that's because I've got to down tools with all my commercial work and whatever the hell else, and my just life of my daughter.
Yep.
And I will focus on that. But that's going to cost you an additional $2,000.
Yep.
Other than that, you get stuff in 4 weeks.
Yeah. My work honestly goes out generally a bit before 4 weeks. But I say 4 weeks to be realistic because life freaking happens.
If someone's promised you 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that ain't it.
That's straight away. Guys, you should be absolute minimum is 4 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, next thing is, okay, what type of wedding film were you getting? An hour and 44 minutes? Or they even stated in this that they were supposed to get 40 to 60 minutes. That's
already
is. That's nuts.
That's the entire ceremony and probably nearly all the reception.
Yeah, it's merged into one clunky ass video.
No,
that doesn't work like that.
No,
okay, so this is what I do, and this is what I think works best. The most popular thing people get are highlight trailers, right? So they're like 5. It can be anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. That's being generous. Depends how good your wedding is.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a teaser trailer, which is like 30 to 60 seconds, 3 days after, sorry. And then if you want your extended footage, that's where your ceremony film comes in, where that's in ceremony in its entirety with multiple camera angles and audio and all that jazz. That's probably half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on how long how many formalities there are.
But that's not your...
But you're not going to mish that in with a highlight reel.
That's...
And then you can see what other people do. I don't personally do this. I will if the person wants to pay for it, which are documentary style edits where they're like, I don't know. I think if they go any longer than 20 to 30 minutes, they're garbage.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, don't come after me Instagram or YouTube. But I think they're just filling your video up with shit. Yeah. Yeah. That's where there's a point where anything longer than I think the quality declines. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
Prove me wrong.
I agree.
But yeah. So that's.
But that would be the same as a photographer video, like returning 2,000-3,000 photos.
That's fucking insane. What's the standard, do you think, for like a 8 to 10 hour day?
I average 50 to 100 an hour.
Okay, so sweet.
In return. Yeah, because some events will require more and some will not require that much.
Yep, that makes sense.
At all.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So lessons learned there. So that's two of the big glaring things for me. Nothing wrong with husband-wife teams.
No.
I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
More money in the one household. I think that's great.
Yep.
Don't drag your fucking 8.5-month pregnant
if
fiance
someone's
out.
booking and you know your missus is going to be that pregnant, why are you...
That's hectic, man. Just relax, bro. Hire someone.
She ain't going to work.
Bring someone off Gumtree. I don't know.
Yeah, find anyone.
Find a minion. If as a second shooter, that's cool. That's fine. And what else was a big red flag in there? I would even probably say the amount of stuff you were getting, the price, $1,500. Now, this is in the US, obviously. Yeah. But I know that's still pretty cheap. I said like $2,500 for like if I was going to do...
For an entire day wedding, that's still quite cheap for videography.
Yeah. And if I was going to deliver, say, that amount of minutes, which would be my top tier package minus the documentary edit, they're paying like $8,000-9,000 for that. Yeah. So like, that's super cheap. Super cheap.
And I know she mentioned that there was one review of them not turning up.
Yep.
I do think that's a little bit tricky though, because broader picture, like I've read a few things lately where they're like, oh, my photographer didn't turn up, but it turns out in their timeline conversations, they didn't have the photographer turning up until 12, but they thought they were turning at 11.
Oh, right.
So I do think if there was numerous reviews on that, never happened to me. I'm freaking early and I'm triple checking. Same as you, but it does happen. Maybe don't always go off just one review.
Wow, I don't know. Well,
but
this is what
these ones are doozy. These ones are doozy. But if you're talking to this person, they're promising you the world. Yeah. Why do we talk about this so much?
Guys, have a bit of fucking just do a bit of research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do research.
A bit of common sense.
Yeah.
I think. But, maybe you don't know what you don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is their first contact point and they were just, wow. Maybe he's super charismatic and he just sold them.
Maybe
and that's just how people get roped into
really
scams and fucking cults and stuff.
It happens.
Charismatic people. Okay, and I also, what else was a super red flag there? Using other people's footage in the wedding was the best. That made it for me. A different season. So obviously this is in the States.
He's like, I just want to use that drone footage.
Now, stock footage is great. I actually have a bunch of stock footage that I can use. Mm-hmm. Not for weddings.
Not for weddings.
But for like commercial work.
That's different.
If I need people, faces, different. City shots. It's all there. Yeah. Or if I don't have it, I'll just go onto a website and buy stock footage. Yeah. So like that's good. That's very normal for commercial. Weddings, like I'm sure you could get away with it for like, I don't know, maybe if you shoot at the same venue heaps and it's the same environment and it was like a detailed shot of like a flower looking over at the beach or something. You could probably get away with that. But and I'm talking like I don't know, like a flower that is in the garden, not a part of the, you know. But then again, that's super risky. Like I personally wouldn't do it. I'm trying to.
I don't think they're anything.
I'm trying to steel man it from both ways. Like, could you use any stock footage? It's probably best you don't, because if the bride gets a fucking wind of it, that you've used some other person's shot. You know,
because a wedding is personal. They don't like. They're gonna remember what their sky looked like, and if you're putting clouds in there on their sunny day, they don't want it.
Yeah, look, I personally wouldn't do it.
No,
and if you need more footage, PR Pro right now has got this amazing thing that I've been playing with.
No,
it can use AI to say if my clip is 2 seconds, you can extend it an additional 2 seconds, and it will create footage that you haven't shot.
That's very cool.
That's fucking cool.
Very cool. This AI is really
it's getting cool, man.
Doozy.
So like skill is now meeting AI.
Yeah.
This is cool. This is really cool.
Yeah.
So like,
but you have to have the skill to do it appropriately, because
for sure. Don't get me wrong. Like,
that's
you could
shonky.
To add an extra second on a clip here and there, it can be sometimes life-saving.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for, especially if you like edit to the beat of a song like I like to do and stuff. So yeah. But there are so many red flags now. I think that I've covered most of them. But
I think
the hard drive thing. What the fuck?
Who doesn't have a website these days to send it through?
Or like that, or a fucking like what? Yeah, what do you use?
Pixie Set.
Pixie Set.
I use Pixie Set.
I was using Pixie Set. I've actually just stopped using them because I'm going to try this new one that's just kind of come out. I've seen other wedding videographers use it, and it looks really nice.
Yeah,
it's more geared towards photo, where Pixie Set isn't. Sorry, video.
Yeah.
And worst case, bro, Google Drive. I know sometimes it's not super glamorous.
That's what content creators use. They use Google Drive.
Google Drive's perfect. And I send everything as a backup on Google Drive anyway, because Google Drive's really compatible with most things.
Clever.
Yeah.
I have personalized USBs I send people.
That's really nice. And I'd like to do that too. Maybe get some like really good quality ones.
Yeah.
And factor that into the price. But
mine are wooden ones with the whole thing engraved.
That's really nice. That's really, it's quite
I would never ask
like a
client
asset.
to, hey, can you send me a USB?
Yeah.
And then also pay for it to be returned. Pardon?
Yeah. That's insane. But anyway.
It's not it. Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Well, I think this is it. We just wrapped up this part 2, all done. Guys, give us a like, follow, subscribe. Share this.
So we can have 3 viewers.
Three viewers. Also, guys, send us some DMs to the Down the Aisle Wedding Podcast Instagram, or email us, or reach out to any of our personal Ground 9 or Lilu and Stitch. I understand again.
Disney.
Yeah. Lilu and G Photography.
Yeah.
Reach out if you want some topics covered, or we
have some people coming on.
We got some people. We've got a content creator coming on. I've got another videographer coming on, like legend in the industry.
A photographer who's ready to let loose.
Yeah.
I sent you recently.
Yes. This is going to be really good. So we've got some juicy stuff coming on. So we've got some good stuff.
Yeah.
So, guys, in the next video, which is going to happen right now.
See you then.
Peace.